Everybody, happy Sunday. Hey, how's it going, everybody out there? A little rat for you on a happy Sunday. And what's it say on this cup? Troublemaker. Yeah, that's funny. Anyhow, I shouldn't say that. I probably got this from a student or something like that. So yeah. Anyways, thank you, whichever student over the years may have given me this cup. Anyhow, cheers. Happy Sunday. Trying not to slurp like those aggravating people that you hear slurping their coffee. I used to have somebody told me in some class in school, or someone behind me. It might have been Angela. I'm not sure. It was just to slurp the coffee. And it was bad. It was terrible. Yes, I don't know. Anyhow, why is he playing Ratt? Anyways, my band Bridge on Fire plays that song. We played last night. Um, One of the reasons, because it was fresh in my mind. And yes, you people in the lab, the guitar lab out there, not everyone plays that riff in Round and Round correctly. Definitely not me. It's one of those difficult things. I think J.K. Lee wrote that riff. J.K. Lee, because Ratt and Warren DeMartini and J.K. Lee were kind of, I think they're roommates and stuff. There's a great old story where Warren is known for his guitar sound and his playing. No one sounds like Warren. He's got this Mixolydian sound that's just incredible. No guitar. One of the few guitar players from that era that you can just hear him and go, okay, that's Warren DeMartini from Ratt. It's an amazing thing to have, especially in the world of the '80s shredders or the '80s. I talked about the different tiers of shredders in the '80s, where there's the Van Halen, Malmsteen's, Vise up here, and then there's the a bunch of guys here. Then there's guys here and here. There's a George Lynch is in that middle second tier. Maybe J.K. Lee, and the third tier might be C.C. DeVille, McMars. I don't know. That's the way I categorize them. They're all phenomenal players, but and they're held in different regards. The gods, semi-gods, that kind of thing. But yeah, Warren, J.K. Lee, were kind of, I think they were roommates or something like that in LA at the time. And George Lynch was the big guy around that time. There's lots of people that thought George Lynch was better than Eddie Van Halen at the time of the when they were all playing clubs. But Warren was known for that guitar sound. That whole, he just had that perfectly recorded guitar sound that everyone was striving for back then. That kind of modified Marshall kind of sound. And George Lynch was friends with them too, and I guess they were always joking back and forth about, where's that Marshall that you record with? I need to hear that. And they would, he had this, I guess his idea was he was going to borrow the Marshall from Warren and then take the guts out and give him the guts of his Marshall and give back and see if he noticed and steal his amp that way. And even one day he went to Warren's house and they're hanging out. I guess he went to the washroom and he took the Marshall and put it close to the door of the apartment. So when he was, I'm out of here, and you take off and you just scoop it out. I'm not sure if he was successful at that, but he tried many times to steal Warren's recording Marshall. Yeah, it was an interesting story. But the reason why I'm bringing up Ratt on this happy Sunday is last night, Sunday, April 5th, 2025, Stephen Pearcy and Warren DeMartini played on stage for the first time in what they're calling Pearcy DeMartini, or DeMartini Pearcy. I'm not sure who's got the higher rank there. I think it would be Pearcy, I think. But yeah, they're back together again for, I think they're playing some festival on May 3rd weekend. And I think they're just going to do a group of outdoor festivals during the summer because that's fun to do. Um, Great band behind him. He's got Matt from Rough Cut on bass, Blas, Elias from Slaughter, which I'm disappointed in because I'm seeing Slaughter this month and in Niagara Falls, and I'm kind of bummed that maybe Blas is not on drums for them, so that kind of sucks. But um, yeah, I don't know. I think they have the Vince Neil guys that are on. I don't know. That's just playing with Slaughter, Dana and Mark. Um, where was I on this? Oh yeah, Blas on drums, man, and Carlos Cavazo doing the Robin Crosby thing, the second guitarist, who's a phenomenal guitar player. I just watched. If you guys don't, if you, my guitar, excuse me, my guitar buddies out there. Um, if you haven't already, watch a show on YouTube called Masters of Shred. Um, Maybe a little bit annoying of a host, but he knows his stuff. He's from my era of guitar magazines and got some great videos and great merch. Check out his merch. I'm gonna buy some merch. My birthday is next month. Anybody who wants to buy me something, merch from Masters of Shred. There's some old. He takes old guitar ads from the old guitar magazines from the '80s and somehow prints them on T-shirts, and it's very cool. Very cool. Um, I'm just doing this for my throat here. Here we go. So, anyways, yeah. So there was a why I'm bringing this and not rambling on is that he had a great interview with Carlos Calvazo on the Monsters of Rock cruise. He's got a series of them. Even Reb Beach is on there. Great interview with Reb Beach, and it's very candid. It's very quiet. What they do is they take a guitar magazine, which you'd think I'd have a million of them sitting around here. They take a guitar magazine, like not like this current issue of McMars here. Current? That's a year old, April 2024. And they sit there and they go through one of the old ones that they're on the cover of, and they go through all the ads, and that's kind of cool. Kind of cool. Yeah, I mean, if you're a geek like me, it's like Christmas. Like I love seeing stuff like that and talk about stuff about old gear and stuff like that. But anyways, Masters of Shred. Carlos was on there talking briefly about Ratt, but Ratt is out there in this form. They're not using the name Ratt because I think they have to get Bobby Blotzer, the original drummer, to sign off. At one point, about maybe it was before COVID, there were two Ratts out there. Stephen Piercy had his own band, and Bobby Blotzer had his own band. Now, Blotzer's band had nobody from the original band. It was just a complete different group of guys playing in Ratt. Piercy had a different, basically had a bunch of different guys too. I think he had Juan, the original bass player, in there, but Warren was nowhere to be found, and Carlos was nowhere to be found. Carlos Cavazo, who was there was some kind of incarnation of Ratt that they had going at some point in time. But they're back together again, playing some shows. And I just wanted to ask, you can comment if you want. Is this the way you want to see your favorite old bands? Of course, bands that are bigger, like Def Leppard's, Def Leppard versions of bands that haven't really changed, mostly the original members. Motley Crue in some sort of form is out there. And that's kind of on a bigger level, maybe a stadium level or arena level that they're playing at. These bands that play smaller venues, in some place just playing bigger clubs across the states, that kind of thing, concert venue clubs. Is this what you really want to see? I saw the set list for the Piercy DiMartini set, and yeah, I'd want to see that. Plus, the two guitar players are phenomenal. Warren and Carlos live would be just incredible to see. Brings back an Eddie Trunk show that I listened to probably a couple months ago that said someone called in and said, I went and saw Doc and George Lynch was phenomenal, but Don Dokken was kind of like, maybe this guy should be giving it up. And Eddie went on to say, and I mentioned this before on this show, Eddie went on to say, do your research because there's enough videos out there, and phone, and you got to remember, guys, phone videos are bad. Phone videos are not a good representation of a band. I've seen phone videos where they're saying, "Oh, well, listen how out of tune this guy is." But if you're just hearing the guy's voice to the forefront and not really hearing the band behind it, you might not get that full sound that you had when you're in the actual room or right beside the stage. You won't get that same sound. It's a different interpretation of a phone video. So, and I hate when you can hear other people talking and screaming and singing out of key, in the crowd. So phone videos aren't the greatest to get an impression, but you can get a good idea of what's going on with the band with a phone video. In the case of Don Dawkins, I think he's had some serious health problems, and they're out there trying to make money like anybody else who's being ripped off by Spotify and all those other bands, other platforms that are not really paying musicians the way they should be paid these days. There, I said it, and I think a lot of people feel the same way about it. I do not have Spotify. I am not on Spotify. I just use YouTube to listen to stuff. There's YouTube Music. I know it's the same sort of idea, but I think that was the platform that kind of ruined it, and that's why you will see people. Sadly, I hate to say it, but you will see people dying on stage because they have to make money, and they don't make money from their back catalog anymore. That's how I feel. Anyhow, but I would go see Ratt, or this new incarnation of Ratt. I'd go see Tom Kiefer, who, Cinderella. There was an anniversary of Jeff LaBar's birthday, who passed away from Cinderella. So that band is really no more. I think Tom Kiefer will just keep it out as Tom Kiefer solo and just do the Cinderella songs and his own stuff, which is really great. But I'd go see Tom Kiefer. There's a lot of one-man bands out there. There's two Queensryches out there, Jeff Tate's Queensryche and the actual Queensryche, who only really has two original members in, Michael Wilton and Eddie Jackson. Hope I'm getting the names right. I'm getting old. I can't remember all the band members' names anymore. But yeah, so there's lots of things you have to pick and choose. I think some bands out there prey on the general public who just want to go at a certain age group that just want to go out and see bands play, and they just say, "Hey, Jefferson Starship's there." I saw Jefferson Starship 2 years ago, and it wasn't Jefferson Starship. It was just some guys playing with one original member who was very old and should not have been on the stage, and I guess so people who aren't keeping themselves informed see Jefferson Starship and let's go. Why not? And if they don't even know the band really well, they'll say, "Oh, they were okay." So they kind of get by and they make money and make a living. Hey, something? Musicians need to make a living. Go out and do it. Go out and do it in whatever way. If you're doing it legally, that's great. Do it. I think everybody needs an outlet to play. We as musicians are always the people. And Angela will say this to me. She's always the people that when there's a crisis will turn to first. You always turn to the musicians. Look at what happened in COVID when they were doing all those live streams on TV and that music. But who are the people that they pay the least in the entertainment world when they can? Us musicians. Especially if you're a bar musician right now, what do you think of how we're being paid in the bars these days? Wow, guys, yeah. Anyhow, that was my rant. Thank you very much to the End Zone Bar and Grill last night for hosting us, Bridge on Fire, for our usual turn around the sun there. We play there probably, I don't know. We used to play that like 4 times a year. I think it's down to 2 or maybe 3. Anyhow, thanks to all friends and family members who came out. Especially special thanks to Chris and Lisa Newman for coming out, finally seeing the band. Thank you guys for coming out, and of course my family for always coming out. And a lot of great people there. The Motley Crue went over very well. I found the Motley Crue songs we played. Anyhow, thanks very much, guys, and. Oh yeah, if you're in the Brantford area next Sunday or this coming Sunday, a week today, Please come to Braemar House School on 36 Baxter Street. Air Avalon Music Academy is doing their annual spring fundraiser for Breeze, who's helping feed the homeless out there. That's our fundraiser, and it's going to be a great show. A great bunch of kids playing, and special thanks to Braemar House School for helping us out. We had some venue issues with our old venue, and they graciously took us back. We started out there as our live venue years and years ago when we started the school, and they had some um, rental priorities for weekly rentals that they couldn't accommodate us anymore, so we had to move on to a few different places that we went to. We're back. Anyways, hopefully for a long time. We like Braemar, Kristen, and Pam. Always helps us out. See you there next Sunday. Have a great week, guys. Take it easy. Go see Ratt. See ya. Bye bye.